What's up everyone, John from Beyond ARTV. It's time for me to count down some underrated Paramore songs on an episode of 7 on Sunday because I feel a little bit guilty. Paramore are one of my all-time favorite bands, and I somehow forgot whenever I was creating my list of anticipated albums that Paramore were going to be dropping new music this year. Now before we get into today's countdown, a huge thank you to our sponsor Rabbit. You guys probably remember that I've been sponsored by them before. I was recently sponsored on the main channel, and if you guys haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend doing so. Rabbit actually allows you to watch and listen to things completely in sync with up to 25 people at a time. Now you guys know that I'm dating Hannah, Infinity on Hannah. We're in a long distance relationship. It's actually really cool to be able to use this to watch things together on Netflix or maybe try out an album together on Spotify because it plays it at the exact same time. You don't have to skip around, guess around like, oh, maybe she's at the 2-minute mark. I'll hit play now. No more of that. Take the worry away. Download Rabbit. It's completely free. It's available on mobile and desktop. It's going to be the top link in the description down below. Try it out. Use it with some of your friends. I know people, especially these days, have friends all over the country or maybe even outside of the country. So this is something that brings people together and allows you to do things together in sync. Like I said, check me out on the app. Username ARTV. Comment your username in the comment section down below. I will add some of you guys and actually chat with you a little bit. Maybe listen to a few things on Spotify. Maybe we'll watch something together. I had a ton of fun doing that last time. Actually last spring whenever I did it. You guys seem to love it as well. So we're doing it again. Time to put on our serious hats. Let's get down to business. Paramore have so many gems in their discography. Sure, the singles are amazing, but there are some deep cuts that are quite fantastic as well. Some ones that get overlooked, and honestly, it was a bit hard to cut down this list to just 7, so maybe at some point in the future, after I feature some other artists on my underrated episodes of 7 on Sunday, maybe I'll do part 2, if you see what I'm getting at. Be sure to drop a like on the video today to let me know that you enjoyed it. Go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes, and let's see what my number 7 pick is. From All We Know Is Falling, we have the opening track, All We Know. This song is actually all about bassist Jeremy Davis. He's once again the former bassist at this point, but most people don't know that he actually exited the band twice. Originally in 2004, shortly before the release of All We Know Is Falling. He ended up being the subject matter for a lot of that record, and if you can see on the album cover here, there's actually a shadow walking away from this couch. Everything feels very lonely. That's about Jeremy Davis leaving the band for the first time, and things were not exactly great between band members back in those days. He was actually put on hiatus by the other members of the band again in 2006-2007 just because his work ethic was lacking according to the other members before being reinstated and obviously playing on Riot. All We Know is a kick-ass track that circles all around the subject of him leaving and just leaving them empty-handed, so to speak. They're like, hey, we're really starting to take off as a band. We're gaining traction. Labels want to sign us, and now you're just gonna up and leave whenever things are about to get good. You said you were in it for the long haul, but you're nowhere to be found. It's got a nice rocking feel to it. I wasn't a huge fan of their debut. I really do enjoy it. I know I say continuously in my videos that it is my least favorite, but I still show it some love. I own a CD copy. I have the complete discography of Paramore sitting right behind me. Obviously, I love that album as well. It's just that not all of the tracks sit quite as well with me over time, but this is one of those that truly stands the test. The paparazzi are everywhere, man, and I tell you what, Paramore knew that early on. Before they even got huge, before the release of Riot, they already knew that people were out taking pictures and using them for however they wanted to. However they wanted to interpret it, that was the story that they could spin. And this song kind of details just how wrong that is to invade someone like that, but how you have to build up these fences between your personal life and just what's going on in the media, obviously, and not letting that get to you as a band and as a frontwoman, obviously Hayley Williams. Now, this track came off of the 2007 release Riot. This is when I just got into Paramore. I remember picking up this album. This was easily one of my favorite songs even back then, and I still come back to it for a reason to this day. It has a very unique feel. I like how it starts off. It's kind of got a stuttered, different kind of rock feel to it, and then a big soaring hook. And it's something that you didn't really see that much of from music at this time, at least from such young bands. Hayley Williams was only 16 at the time of this album's creation, so it was really cool to see her take on the world at this time. Obviously, former member Josh Farro did help write some of the lyrics for this entire album, this song in particular as well, and it was just kind of refreshing to see a band actually having the balls to call out somebody like this, and just the media in general, especially as such a young act. If Rihanna thought she was unapologetic, then what the hell do you call Decoy? This song is a monster, just kind of like in your face, a crazy ex-girlfriend almost shouting like basically, why were we together? You know I was using you, you know you weren't even in this relationship, you know I wasn't even that invested in it, and you think you're in love. And she is telling him off, going off in really dramatic fashion, but it pays off big for them. It's like a spark gets lit at the beginning and then just a firecracker explodes at some point in the song, and we get to sit back and watch it unfold before our very eyes. I think this song is one of the most hard-hitting that they did from their earlier career in terms of just the rock power of it. The guitars are loud, the drumming is fantastic on it, and you can really hear the bass work shaping up this track as well. Jeremy Davis really starting to show his place in the band, what he could do as he honed his skill and his craft here.
Honestly, can you believe across the world, well, it's this sweet. I've never traded it, 'cause I've always wanted this, and it's not a dream anymore.
Tensions within the band were at an all-time high whenever Brand New Eyes dropped in 2009, and that was covered a lot on this album. As you can see with songs like Playing God, that one really discusses, even with the video of the song, and Ignorance, kind of talking about how the band felt about each other. The walls were closing in the Ignorance video, and you see how frustrated they kind of were with each other. And Looking Up is another one that I kind of feel like kind of touches on that in a way. I love the bridge of this track. I can't believe we almost had it all. It gets stuck in my head all the time, and I come back to that, and I'm always like, wait, which one is the one that does that? What song on Brand New Eyes? And then I play it, and I'm like, how do I forget about this song? How do I not play this every week? It's so good. The guitars really start to come in. It starts off a bit slow, but they really rivet and work their way in there, and obviously that vocal performance from Hayley Williams, she's truly incredible behind the mic. That is easily the most unique thing about this band. It's what makes Paramore Paramore, and the reason that they still have the name. I like that they've stuck with it, and kudos to them for amazing tracks like this.
We don't talk about the past. We don't talk about the past now. So I'm writing the future. I'm leaving a key here.
There is kind of a cult following, I would say, surrounding this song. I see a lot of people talking about it in the comments for like my top 10 Paramore or other Paramore reviews that I've done over the years. So it does get some love, but from the mainstream and people who just casually seem to be into Paramore, I don't know that many people that are into this track. It's one that started off as an iPhone demo from Hayley Williams, just kind of talking to herself, saying some things, playing this guitar melody. It was right after the Farro brothers left the band, and it was before any of the other songs were written for the self-titled album, but it ended up making the record, and that's so cool. It sees this kind of transition as it goes on. About 3.5 minutes in, we really see the transformation begin, and she's talking about and kind of reflecting on the first half, saying these things about, you know, moving on, letting go, let's focus on the future, and obviously that was reiterated on the 16 songs that came before that. That was kind of a recurring theme on the self-titled album, but the last 3.5 minutes or 4 minutes or so of this track are just like like a jam session of pure bliss. I love that, and how it kind of rises and falls. You see it rise up again, and then it fades off into oblivion, and then back and right in your face again, just when you think it's faded out. This song is phenomenal. It's fantastic. I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't ever listened to it.
In the morning, I'll rise. In the morning, I'll let you die. In the morning.
Fleetwood Paramore Mac, I'm not exactly sure what the mashup would be called, but In the Morning clearly seems to be a tribute to bands like Fleetwood Mac, the late 70s, early 80s, some of the songs that were going on in that time. In the Morning is one from the singles collection. I was actually a part of this back in the day. I was so excited. I think this was 2010 or 2011. I remember getting a new song every few months, getting the email about it, and being so excited so that I could go download it. And whenever this one came out, it was an instant favorite for me. I kept coming back to this song. I love Haley's voice on it. It's not because it's roaring or just so powerful and she's holding it out like on All I Wanted and just roaring over all these notes. It's because it's more muted and casual. But the finesse of this song is really in the detail and the simplicity of it. Maybe it's the lack of detail. Maybe it's the fact that it's nuanced because there aren't so many things going on. There's not a ton of clutter. There's not a ton of layers to peel back. It's just a very simplistic song. She's basically trying to really rise up and get through all of the dirt and ash of life that's falling maybe around her, all of the turmoil of the day, and really keeping a smile on your face, going forward with a positive attitude. There's a bit of melancholy and lingering feeling in the track, but you can really see that there is a hint of a brighter future, and we saw that explored on the self-titled.
Some of us have to grow up sometimes. And so, if I have to, I'm gonna leave you behind.
My number one pick is finally here, and it is one of my all-time favorite Paramore songs. Grow Up is such a middle finger to all those people in high school, all those other people that you cut out of your life, and you're just like, good fucking riddance. And some of us have to grow up sometimes. It's a very casual statement, but it's said with like a false smile, basically saying, you know what? You never grew up. We're not friends for a reason now. You made poor life decisions. You made it to the point that you are in your life now. I'm where I am now, and there's no reason that we need to be in each other's lives. Someday I'm gonna have to put you in the rear view permanently and focus on what I'm doing. This track hits so hard. I love the way it starts off. It has this great little intro on it, and then Haley comes in, and then just the drums, the shuffling kind of beat on it. It's a little bit different than what you would expect from Paramore. It's got a great guitar line on it as well. It's very crisp, clear, and just kind of raw with its message and what it's trying to get across. It's not beating around the bush. It's not trying to be super friendly. It's got a great chorus. It's got some kind of jabby guitars that work their way in there throughout the chorus as well. You're going to be singing along to this one over and over again. Share it to a friend that maybe you just maybe feel a little bit of this towards. I hope you guys enjoyed watching my 7 picks for 7 super underrated Paramore songs. I know there's a lot more, like I said before, that are very underrated. Let me know some of your favorites in the comments section down below, and let me know if you would like to see a part 2 at some point. If you didn't already, smash the like button on this video to let me know that you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. You can click right here to see my top 10 Paramore songs, or right here to see an episode of 7 on Sunday I think you'll like. All of my social media is linked in the description, and other than that, I will see you guys very soon right here on Beyond ARTV.